Let's not be gooey in
Yeah,
offices.
okay.
PSA. Never leave me.
I love you.
You can't force someone out the closet.
Could you imagine if I did that to you? This is like one of the strongest You Are the Dramas I can remember giving for a while.
Stay in your lane, Grandma. Stay in your lane.
You're through to 1-800-DRAMA,
The show where you share your biggest dilemmas.
and we help you navigate them.
I'm Shaaba.
And I'm Jamie.
Come join us as we help people figure out if they are the drama.
Because sometimes you just need an outside perspective.
And we can all expand our own mindsets along the way.
Wait, am I the drama? Red flag, green flag, Shaaba.
Hit me.
Ooh.
That was very seductive.
Yeah, that was. Wow. Somebody ordering food for you at a restaurant.
Ooh.
Just like
Oh, this is
automatically
so
going
hard.
straight in there, you're going to have this.
Red flag. I'm going to very obviously red flag it with one exception. I can just think if I'm like running late to a restaurant, I've had a really bad day and I come in there and someone's like, hey, I hope you don't mind. I've just gone ahead and ordered this for us. But if you want to order something else, that's totally fine.
Okay, I hear
and
you.
I've got this drink. And then if you're like in that moment, my head's going all romantic about it and you're like, oh my God, you ordered me calamari? Calamari is like my favorite. And they're like, oh my God, I love calamari too. And then like you got this like cute little, I'm going to cry. I'm on my period, guys.
I was going to say Shaba's on her period, but I thought I'd let you volunteer that information. I didn't want to like out you.
Yeah.
Okay, I
Happily ever calamari.
would
after.
agree. I will red flag it. I hate the concept. And it's mostly like straight guys who are like, yeah,
She'll have the Caesar salad.
chicken arrabbiata is so good from here. She's going to have that.
Wow.
And he's called Dave.
Yeah, we don't like those Daves.
No.
Dave.
No.
Do you know what I do like though in Friends, where Joey takes Rachel out
Right.
and she's like, I don't know if I should have the blah or the blah, but she's then given two preferences,
Yeah.
right? And he goes, she'll have both, and so will I. And so there's two people but 4 meals, and I just think it's the cutest thing.
Yeah, that is a sweet version.
Basically, I'm red flagging it because it typically only happens when people are trying to exert control or tell you what you should eat. But
Yes.
if it's a cute moment
Yeah.
where it's just convenient and you still have the autonomy to choose what you want to eat,
Yeah.
all good.
Yeah, or if you have social anxiety and you tell somebody what you want to order and they order for you, that's what I do, then that's fine too.
You do often, but sometimes you do it yourself.
Yes.
And then sometimes you'll also order for me, and then I'm like, oh my goodness.
Yeah,
That's
but most of the time
so
I'm
cute.
like, Shaaba, I want the pasta and I want it with the cheese
And can you make these customizations? Because
Yeah, and
if someone
can you-
says no, I'll die.
and
That's
can
your
you
word.
please ask for them to put no chili in it? Thank you.
Anyway, how are we doing today, my love?
We're doing good, not really much to update, although
No, life's lovely and breezy.
it is lovely and breezy. I think if you want to see more of us though, you could maybe head over to our gaming channel.
Yes, we're totally trying to grow the VOD channel. We're streaming and gaming actually a lot more recently, and it's so much fun.
Yes, we
So,
are very bad at it, but it is fun.
I will warn you as well, we're also very unfiltered. So compared to the curated shaabaandjamie that you see here on these videos, come along to our VOD channel. The details are downstairs. It's at shaabaandjamie is a channel name if you want to check that out.
Yeah.
For now though, are you ready to go fishing for
Drama.
assholes? Let's go! Ooh, drama!
Am I the drama, Shaaba?
Yes.
For yelling at my pregnant co-worker?
That sounds so mean.
Oh,
Yes,
it does.
yes, you are.
Well, let's read the context, but based on the title, yes.
I am a 23-year-old woman, and I share an office with my co-worker, a 29-year-old woman who is 7 months pregnant.
That is quite pregnant.
That is very pragugu. Since she found out about it, she talks about nothing else. I get it, it's exciting. However, it's come to a point where I can't handle it anymore. As a little backstory, I am infertile old.
Oh, okay.
And I had a hysterectomy due to cancer when I was 18. I told her multiple times in the past I would rather not talk about her pregnancy because it's a sensitive topic for me.
Right.
Okay. I didn't go into details as I don't want to share my medical history with everyone, and she stopped for the rest of that day.
Right.
Today, I couldn't stand it any longer. She again started talking about how her back hurts, and because of the weather, her feet were very swollen.
Okay.
I yelled at her, just shut the F up and don't bother me with your baby. You at least have a uterus to carry one. I'm feeling like the third party awkwardness from
Yeah.
just reading this is like actually jolting my body.
Yeah.
She immediately started crying and left the office and later called in sick and went home. So am I the drama? There is an edit here as well.
Okay.
I have no issue, says OP, being around pregnant women or kids. What is an issue for me is that she talks about it for 5 months straight and about nothing else. I tried to suck it up for the first 3 months and then started politely telling her to stop talking about only her pregnancy. I just talked about the situation with another coworker a few minutes ago, and she's also annoyed by her and avoids her. She said I was maybe a bit too rude, but it needed to be said, and I will apologise to her tomorrow.
Oh, okay.
I definitely feel like an apology is needed.
I do as well. I'm trying to put it in the context though of like, if somebody talks about any topic and that's all they talk about for months solid, coming in, day out, the complaining about this thing that's difficult, gooeying over the gooeying. I don't know what that is.
Gooeying
and then say
over?
cooing or being gooey, like gooey-eyed over this or that or whatever.
Right.
Yeah, full of excitement, blah blah blah.
Jamie, if someone said she's being so gooey in the office, I would not ever think
I think
about
that she
being
had
gooey-eyed. Right.
Or conjunctivitis.
Let's not be gooey in
Yeah,
offices.
okay.
PSA.
But you know what I mean? Like, lamenting, that's the wrong word. I cannot adjective today. Constantly just going on about one thing is going to get
Banging
tedious. Going on about something like a pregnancy is going to be tedious for everybody in the office, let alone somebody who has emotional weight on the topic.
So, question. Do you think that emotional weight is something that should be considered?
That is what I'm wondering.
I think that's the big question of this, right? Like, there's multiple layers to this am I the drama onion. Let's unpack them. The first for me is you specifically stating, OP, that you are feeling some kind of way because of your personal experience. Coworker doesn't know that experience.
Yeah.
But the question is, one, should she be mindful that anybody could be having said experiences when she's sharing things in the office? Let's start with that. I have pros and cons for both.
It's tricky because I feel like, yes, there are social circumstances where we do need to filter ourselves sometimes
Or
and
react
consider
differently.
others. You know, it's why we have things like trigger warnings on certain movies and stuff, and people are pre-warned.
Yes, another example that popped into my head is our gorgeous friend Lucy, because she's blind. Often when we're at events or meetings with Lucy, people will begin with a audio description introduction.
Yes.
But we don't always do that. And I'm wondering, should we? It's the same principle. Do you know what I mean?
Ah, okay. I'm really thinking about this one.
It's hard. It's contextually very grey.
Is contextually very grey. I feel like this would be irritating regardless of your situation, and I think that the savage in me wants to just say it's not your co-worker's fault that you have difficulty
A sensitivity.
with that topic.
Sure.
And she is allowed to be excited and happy and talk about something in the office, even though it carries weight for you in a way that it doesn't for her.
Yes.
However, I do also appreciate that we live in a world where
Everyone's different.
Everyone's different, and it's reasonable as human beings to sometimes make allowances in our speech, in our conversations, to make sure everybody is comfortable.
Also, yes.
There's definitely a balance, because it doesn't seem like OP is annoyed that her colleague was talking about pregnancy, full stop. It's just that it was constant.
I'm confused though, because whilst I do appreciate this in this discussion, the other part of me is also like, well, does that mean that we all need to not say anything? Because anyone could be triggered by any personal event, and we need to be careful.
I don't think it's that though. I don't think this is the conversation that's going on here. It's because the colleague was talking about it all the time. It's not just that it was brought up. I don't think OP has an issue with that, which is where the edit clarified as well.
Especially because after 3 months, you did politely say, hey,
Yeah.
maybe we could not only talk about this.
Yes. I don't
and
think-
other people are also feeling some kind of way.
I think if like colleague had come in and gone, oh my goodness, I'm pregnant, and OP had gone, F you, how dare, don't talk about this here. That's a clear you are the drama,
I hear
but
you.
that's not what's happened. So I have a badge.
Yeah, I do hear you. I think this has been a good learning moment for me, because my head was just like, oh, we need to always be careful, but I don't think it's that you need to be careful about what you say and anticipate that anyone could, I'm just trying to put it to all situations, like Lucy, anyone could be benefiting from a visual description. It would be wonderful if we could make some of these things standard practice, but if they're not, I think adapting your attitudes when you have been made aware
Yes.
is the best and most important thing that we can do. You don't
Yeah,
always have
I
to
hear you.
pre-anticipate to accommodate anyone's potential needs, but maybe just being aware
Yeah.
when those needs, and very respectful when those needs are made aware to you.
Yeah.
She shouldn't have continued. That was really useful in my head. I think I've unwrapped my onion.
Nice.
Yes.
Lovely. I love your onion core.
There is actually one other layer
Oh, no.
closer to the core. My question is she actually talking about the baby? I feel like I want some more information, because the example that was given was, all my back hurts, all my feet hurt because the weather's making them swollen.
It's pregnancy related though. It's
Yeah,
the
but,
same
like-
topic, and I feel like it's straw that breaks a camel's back, right? OP's not saying that that specific sentence is bad, and my gut reaction was like, oh, but she wasn't even talking about the baby or like specifics. It was just, oh, my back hurts and my feet are swollen. However, imagine that being on the very top of a huge pile.
Yes, I hear the straw that breaks a camel's back. I see that.
But you raise me.
No, I'm assuming that if we're taking OP's word at face value, which we have to do, I'm sure a lot more has been said. But if it is just things like that, like maybe OP is the one with the lens being like, oh my gosh, she's talking about the baby again, when the reality is that's just her lifestyle. Do you know what I mean? Like, that is what's happening right now. If someone else has gone, oh, the weather's a bit glum today, and she's gone, yeah, you know, my feet are really swollen because of it. Do you know, like, she's not inviting the conversation about the baby. Like, there are ways in which maybe this seems less problematic.
Or she could just say, yeah, it is a bit glum.
And my feet hurt.
It's like, you're going to laugh at my metaphor. You're not going to like my comparison.
Oh, I love a Jamie metaphor moment.
Jamie's metaphor moment.
Give me your
It's
gorgeous
like,
metaphor.
I am on the taller side, right? And imagine if I had a very short colleague who was uncomfortable with their height. What if I went in every day and I was just like, oh, it's so great being tall. Oh my God, but my back hurts a bit today because I'm tall. Oh, and they're like, oh, the weather's a bit wet today. And it's like, yeah, I felt it 5 seconds earlier than you because I'm tall. And they're just like, look, mate, I'm not tall. And it's a bit just awkward, the fact that you talk about it all the time.
Well,
Could we
even if
maybe
you
not?
were tall, like, it's just annoying.
Like, it's
Hey,
annoying.
That was a good metaphor.
Oh my God.
Well done.
Yay.
All right, I think I'm ready for my badge.
Are you ready?
Yes.
Should we do it together?
Yes.
Ready?
3, 2, 1.
Everybody sucks here.
Yay! I mean, it sucks that everybody sucks.
Yeah.
But I'm glad we're on the
Yeah.
same page.
Colleague, annoying for talking about it for so long, regardless of whether people are uncomfortable or upset by the conversation point. It's just annoying, whatever, for it to be a constant conversation. OP, also drama, because that was a rude response, but I can see where it came from. I think there just needs to be an apology and maybe a more open discussion, and maybe just like an avoiding of the colleague, like the other person has done, because she's just not listening.
Yeah.
I do think colleague sucks more than OP.
Oh, interesting.
Personally.
I was actually going to say, I think maybe OP sucks more. And I'm going to do it with sympathies to OP because I do feel for you hugely. However, I'm just trying to think objectively, what you said was really mean. It was really, really quite harsh. And whilst I totally appreciate where it's coming from, it's absolutely not appropriate.
Yeah, imagine
in the workplace.
speaking like that to a colleague and, okay,
Colleague
I'm hearing
totally as well, like, didn't know. Like, if the last thing you said was 3 months ago and now it's 7 months pregnant, like, that's 4 months where you haven't really said anything. I appreciate that for you it's really bottled up. I don't think that is for her. And in the workplace there is a much nicer way that you could have said that.
I think the 3 months took them to 5 months of pregnancy. So it's for the last 2 months that OP's been really annoyed by it. Because they seem to have known for 5 months,
Yeah.
3 months into knowing.
Got it.
And now 7 months.
Okay, so for 2 months you haven't said anything
Potentially.
more. Which, and I totally appreciate how annoying this could be as like a big build up for you, but this is just not workplace appropriate. And now she's gone home, you're going to have like potentially a lot more repercussions for being so mean, whereas if you'd gone about it the correct way that wouldn't have happened.
Yeah.
You know, but I do say
hear
with
that.
sympathies, want to make that very clear.
I hear you. I would just avoid her.
This is going to be awkward now. I'm glad OP said that they're going to apologise, because I think they should, to be like, look, and I think it could be a really healthy conversation, you know, to be like, I'm really sorry I popped out that way. I have asked you beforehand.
Popped out.
Sorry, no pun intended. I have asked you before to not mention it as much. I do have some sensitivities that I don't need to particularly go into. Like, it makes me uncomfortable, and that is why I reacted as severely as I did, and I shouldn't have done that. And I really hope that we can find a way going forward where you also do not impact the office as much with this talk.
Yes.
You know, recognising that there's both in the wrong.
It's a very mature way. I agree. I think we're on the same page with this one.
Oh my goodness.
When I remind myself it was in a workplace, that's when I'm like, no, I think they're balanced. I wouldn't say OP sucks more, but I do retract my OP sucks only a small bit, because workplace etiquette, yes, she's being annoying and talking too much and it's causing you upset, but you cannot talk to a colleague like that.
Fair enough. Imagine if somebody said, like, you at least have a uterus to carry one. It's that wording, like, I can see in a workplace scenario that being taken in so many different ways.
Because I think as well, there could have been a way where it was like an outburst without it being mean towards colleague. It could have been vulnerable about OP. So it could have been like this is really upsetting me because I cannot be in your position ever.
Yes, yeah.
I cannot hear about this anymore, and then like walking away.
Especially like the don't bother me with your baby. I know, like, in those moments you don't feel some, like, it's very difficult to be calculated and think of the words that you should be using when you're feeling very emotional. But even like just the simple thing of using the word baby and not pregnancy will understandably make pregnant colleague feel a lot more personal about their little squish than their swollen feet.
Yeah. Ooh, Okay, ready to read some comments?
Yeah.
Oh, you're the drama. You overreacted. I'm sorry about your condition, but you should have handled this in a completely different manner. She wasn't even talking about her baby. Yes,
But she was, though.
Yeah, she was talking about her pregnancy. Yeah. Yes, the fact she had these symptoms are side effects of the pregnancy, but she didn't even mention the baby. What if she had said she had to go to the restroom? Would you have said, oh my gosh, quit saying that. You're only saying that because you're pregnant and a child is pressing into your bladder. It's not okay. You need to act professional. You're at work. I do agree with that, but I do think talking about pregnancy day in, day out is also not professional.
Yes, just like talking about anything day in, day out would not be professional.
Yeah.
And I agree with a lot of this sentiment. You are the drama. Whilst it's sad what happened to you, and I can understand it might be a sensitive topic, that shouldn't limit her to share her experience. Plus, she didn't know about your issues, so you can't even say that she rubbed salt into your wound.
I do hear that, but I'm still of the opinion that even if OP didn't have sensitivities around the topic, it would still be something that you could politely and within your rights mention to your colleague that it's a bit annoying.
Yeah, just like if it's someone constantly going on about their partner, bringing it short, like literally anything could get annoying if it's spoken about too much. I think what stops me from agreeing with these people on just full on you are the drama is it's not something that is for the first time being said to a colleague. You did address this beforehand. Yeah. And other people have also been frustrated. Yeah. Like if that didn't happen, I would totally agree you are the drama. But because it's been addressed, you need to like learn some boundaries.
For sure.
Pregnant colleague.
Pregnang.
You're
the drama. You're asking a woman to not be happy because you're not. It's very selfish. I think that's a bit of an extreme read. I'm disagreeing with the commenters, and now I feel like listeners may disagree with us.
Hey, let us know, Peaches. If you're watching this on YouTube, drop a comment downstairs. If you're watching this on a podcast platform, Spotify, Apple Podcasts, I see you. We're grateful. Mwah. Come over to 1-800-DRAMA-POD to continue the discussion on Insta. I am so intrigued.
I am intrigued. I feel like it's being ignored that this has been mentioned before. This is annoying other people. This is in itself unprofessional in the workplace. Yes, I do think OP is bringing the drama themselves because of their reaction. It was unprofessional and unkind. That's why we did Everyone Sucks here. But I feel like they're letting pregnant colleague off very light for being completely irritating for the past 5 months.
7 months.
7 months of pregnancy they found out 5 months ago.
This comment is really not sitting well with me as well because it's telling you how to feel, and I don't think that's very fair on OP. You may not be as happy for that person because you can't do something that they are able to do. It is not selfish to feel that way. If OP can't get pregnant and this person is pregnant, it is very, very plausible and incredibly understandable. In fact, I would find it weird if OP didn't have a negative feeling. You can be happy for someone and be sad for yourself because of this experience at the same time. Both things can be true. And just because you're feeling sad about yourself doesn't make you selfish and doesn't mean that you're not also happy for that other person.
But also fundamentally, OP wasn't asking her colleague to not be happy. OP was asking her colleague to talk about something else once in a while. You asked her nicely to stop and she didn't. Very insensitive to your feelings, not the drama.
Well, there you go. That's a different badge.
Interesting.
Not the drama. You have every right to ask her to stop the way you did, especially after already asking her to back up a bit. That's the big bit for me. As someone who's childless, not by choice, I can 100% see where your reaction came from. And also just as a person, she isn't the first person to be pregnant, and some people need to realise that. Yes, I see this.
I think it's also because I can see who this colleague is. I know people who are this colleague, and it is really goddamn annoying.
Yeah. It's also just so difficult to navigate overpowering personalities at work.
Yeah.
It's just a thing. Sometimes people are really freaking annoying. You can't choose who you're in the office with. And at the end of the day, you are there to work. So if you're not going to gel, you do need to have boundaries in place to make sure that your social interactions are palatable or as palatable as possible for everybody.
For sure. I do disagree with this commenter that OP did it in the right way. I do think OP was too harsh with the shut the F up. Because they said you have every right to have asked her to stop the way you did. That's the bit I disagree with.
Yes, no, I didn't pick up on that, and you're so right. In the way that you did, that was just unprofessional. Yeah. And you could get into serious trouble for that. Yeah. Everybody sucks here.
Oh. She sucks for talking about nothing but her pregnancy, especially as you asked several times for a subject change. You suck for yelling at her, and she also sucks for totally overreacting to it.
Oh, I'm not sure if I agree with that. I don't see how she overreacted. She left, and then she asked for the day off. If she's feeling some kind of way because she's feeling awkward and embarrassed, and she's also particularly hormonal, and is wanting some time to understand how to deal with the situation where she felt very attacked because the wording you used was very aggressive, I don't think that's overreacting.
I can see how taking the rest of the day off could be seen as an overreaction.
What time is it?
I don't know.
So how do we know?
I don't know.
If it was 10 a.m.
Well, no, it said she called in sick for the rest of the day.
Sure, but if it was 3 p.m. and she was like, I'm gonna pop off, and then she just didn't want to come back to the office because she was mortifyingly embarrassed.
Saying it was an overreaction. I can see how it could be seen that way by some people.
Sure.
Overall, I agree with this comment though.
Yes, just not that last bit.
Yeah.
All right. Oh, for a first one, I feel like that was quite controversial.
That was
a little
interesting,
spicy.
yeah.
Should we go for another?
We should.
Drama. Am I the drama for cussing my boyfriend out?
Oh, so vague.
Also, like, I have not heard that phrase in a long term. Don't cuss me out.
Yeah.
That's so, like...
Cussing.
Yeah, what did you say? I need to know.
I feel like it's American, cussing, to cuss.
I was going to say, like, it feels like a younger thing. It also feels like a very London thing.
Okay.
I used to use it a lot more.
London, America, the
but
same
not so
thing.
much when we moved up. That's so funny. Yeah, carry on.
Fascinating. I'm an 18-year-old woman and my boyfriend is a 19-year-old man. We've been dating for a few months since he asked me to be his girlfriend in April 2024. Oh. It's been a good relationship so far despite minor disagreements, but there's something about a relationship that rubs me the wrong way. Okay.
Rubs me up the wrong way.
Yeah.
Wording is important.
Right. He hasn't told his father or grandparents about us and has been keeping us a secret due to religious beliefs. Oh.
Okay.
Okay, I got feelings. They
What are
believe
your feelings?
that sometimes there needs to be a right moment to tell certain people
Certain things, yes.
certain things, yeah. And April to August is still quite new.
Very new.
Yeah.
You're also very young. I have many questions.
Yeah.
I'm so intrigued. Please continue.
They believe that young people shouldn't be dating because it can entice them into doing wrong things, i.e. premarital adult fun times, which we've already been doing.
Okay.
So ever since we've been dating, we've been meeting in secret against his dad's wishes.
Okay.
It hasn't really bothered me until now because I thought he doesn't really have to tell them, but they often question him whenever he's going to hang out with me.
This sounds so much like my parents. Like,
It does. That's why I feel like I'm already getting like feelings about it, and I'm trying not to let my personal bias play too much of a role here.
But hey, our personal biases are really important. That's why it's useful to have so many people speaking about it.
I want to
our
read
badges
the
might be very different.
rest of it more objectively.
Yes. It's a beauty of this podcast, I think, but also I totally recognise the value in addressing it.
Yeah, but my boyfriend assures me that he loves me and won't leave me. I've told my mum about him and she knows I like him. Okay.
That feels like a very 18-year-old thing to say.
Yeah.
He'll never leave me.
I love you. Recently I went on vacation. I knew I had to get him a gift, so I decided to buy him this really expensive watch. I knew I had to get him something really nice because he means a lot to me.
Cute.
Yes, cute, but you don't have to. Before I gave him the watch, I asked him that when his family asks him where he got it, he'd say it was from me and not from a random.
Oh.
He said he would do that.
Oh.
I think that's a really big ask to put it, because you're also then dictating how he tells his family that he's dating. Because you're saying, wear this watch, and then when they ask about it, tell them it's from your girlfriend.
That does not make me feel good at all.
No, that makes me feel uncomfortable. Fast forward and I get back and I give him the watch. A few days later, I ask him what he told them. He said he didn't show it to them yet. Then in conversation, he slips up and tells me he lied and told them he bought the gift for himself. Immediately, I get furious because I ask him to tell them he got it from me. I cuss him, calling him ungrateful, and he's a
B with many stars.
And a C with
C with many stars.
For lying, and he really hurt my feelings. I berated him so badly, he just stood there speechless.
Oh, this just sounds really, really unhealthy.
Yeah, I feel like I already have a bad, but I'll read the rest. We didn't talk for a few days until he told me he wanted to apologise. We talked it out and he told me he was wrong.
That right there is a bit of a red flag to me. We didn't talk for a few days until he told me he wanted to apologise.
Yeah.
Does that mean that he was trying to talk to you?
It sounds like OP was freezing him out.
Didn't have a conversation until you knew it was going to be him coming to you to make amends and for him to take accountability? Or does that mean that you just weren't talking and the first time he reached out to you was to apologise? Because those are two very different scenarios, and one is a huge red flag and the other is understandable.
It's just you learning like communication style.
It's time, and that's just the first thing that happened. Oh, this is making me feel, I'm not gonna lie,
I have some
triggered.
really strong opinions about this.
Carry on.
We talked it out and he told me he was wrong and he didn't realise how bad he hurt me. Now I feel bad for cussing him, but I'm also not sorry, because I told him how much it meant to me. Okay. I'm really in two minds about where we are going with this relationship and how we should proceed. It doesn't sit well with me how he keeps me a secret because he doesn't want his family to nag him about his religious beliefs. Part of me feels like I should give him an ultimatum. No, but I don't think that will go well because we are still young adults and figuring life out.
So am I the drama for cussing him out and for staying with him? Look, okay, first thing that is like big in my brain is, oh my god, you are so immature. You are only 18 and you have so much to learn, young one. Wow.
Young one.
I also realised that when I was 18, if someone said that to me, I'd tell them to F off. So it's really funny how times change.
Just to share, for anybody who doesn't know and is listening, a little bit about our personal journey
Oh, yes,
as a
that'd
couple.
be a good idea, I guess.
And why this is resonating so strongly is we got together a little bit younger than these two. We were 17, and Shaaba's family is religious, and because of religion disallowed you from dating.
It wasn't because of religion. There's a difference, and it might be really nuanced to some,
Yeah.
and we don't need to go into it today, but they used religion as an excuse as to why we couldn't date.
I feel like
Why
that's
I
probably
couldn't
what's
date.
happening here as well. I think it's always an excuse.
It's funny though, because like, religion is a boundary, right? So like, my first question is boyfriend religious? And does boyfriend agree with these things? Because if, say it is similar to our situation, like obviously, like my family is Islamic. They also say no premarital adult fun times. And in fact, you're not even allowed to speak to somebody with a romantic way, right? If you're
Yeah.
actually following religion to the T, you're supposed to get married
Yeah.
as soon as you realise that someone is
You
the
may
one
want
for you.
to be
Yeah.
with somebody.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So the whole thing is about boundaries, right? I'm like, is he also religious? Is he wanting to do this? And therefore, is it his values that are in two minds? Or is he like, no, I'm very sure in myself that I want to have this relationship, regardless of whether he's religious or not, right? I guess what I'm saying is, yes, is the fact that he's dating at odds with his own religious beliefs? Or is it something that he's okay with and therefore it's just a parental thing? Because that changes
I
things.
feel like because he's dating and they have been doing premarital adult fun times, and
It's
that's
more of a
the
parental
I think it's
pressure
more
thing.
of a parental thing than a him thing.
But then what's so confusing to me is, why did he say he would with the watch? I understand.
Yeah, to try and make someone happy.
I understand. Like, I can't. I have my badge. Do you have your badge?
Yeah, have my badge.
3, 2, 1.
You're the drama. Yeah,
majorly,
for
right?
sure.
Though the tiny niggle that I have is, he said he would before you bought
Yes.
it. I can understand your frustration. You had no right to ask what you did, but when you did ask it, he said, "Sure, I'll do that," and then you bought it, and then he didn't do it. I can get why you're annoyed.
I can get why you're annoyed, but I don't understand why it was requested in the first place.
Let's unpack that.
And then I can also understand that why, as a 19-year-old in a relatively new relationship that you maybe feel is turning into like in love and serious, you would say something like, yeah, I'll do that to keep your partner happy. And maybe even thinking in that moment,
Yes,
I
I will.
have the
I
courage.
will do it.
I'm going to do this.
Sure.
And it's all about whether when he said he would do it, if he did actually have the intention, but when push came to shove, he just couldn't do it.
Yeah.
Because what I will also say, it was unspoken in our relationship that it was up to Shaaba when her family would find out, because you explained the potential repercussions to me.
and that's the thing, right?
And I was like,
literally,
you need to do this when you are ready and you are in a safe position for your family
safety.
to know.
And us
Yeah.
doing it wasn't in our control in the end. It
Yeah.
happened by accident. And when it did happen that way, there were very nasty repercussions. I was disowned. I was homeless.
Yeah.
Like, it's not
a joke. It's not like
It's
it's,
really
not
not.
someone being ashamed of you. It's not somebody keeping you a secret just
Yeah.
for laughs.
I say that with no tiny violin, by the way.
Yeah.
Like, it's totally fine.
You
I'm just saying.
don't know
yeah.
the repercussions he could face
Yes.
by telling his family he's in a relationship right now.
Mm-hmm.
And to put that pressure on him, it feels like you're not understanding. He's been very open with you about why he's keeping things quiet from his family, and you're just like, no, tell them. And now you're even considering giving him an ultimatum. I personally
So many
think
red
this
flags.
reads like not ready to date.
You are
and
not ready
definitely
for a
not ready
relationship.
for this
No.
type of relationship.
Yes, you've got a lot of learning to
And
do.
I also put it on gay relationships.
I was
and
actually going to say
LGBTQ+
that.
people.
It's similar to like forcing someone out the closet, right?
It's okay if you are an out and proud person who doesn't want to date someone who's not ready to come out yet, then that relationship is just not right for the two of you.
At
But-
this moment in time.
At this moment in time. But you have no right as an out and proud person to push your partner to come out to their family or be open with the world about your relationship until they are ready. This to me, I'm not saying like being gay and having a religious family are the same thing.
No, but in this situation, I always try and take something and put it to a different principle. And the very first thing that came to my mind was LGBT plus people.
Yeah.
You can't force someone out the closet. And this is kind of like a religious closet that you're in, right? Like, you can't force someone out.
Yeah.
It's so simple.
As well, the only thing I think he has done wrong here is say he would do it and then not do it. He shouldn't have said he would do it if he wasn't going to. However, we do not know his intention.
Yeah, if he did intend to, and then he couldn't in the moment, I think in an ideal world, he would have also then told partner and been like, hey, I just need to let you know, I'm really sorry. I know you wanted me to say this was from you. I can't do it. Would you like it back?
Yeah, and then he wouldn't have lied initially.
Yeah.
Because I completely appreciate why OP is upset on those 2 points. I think that is a warranted upset over your partner lying to you, and that needs a discussion. However, calling him a C word
And a B word?
and potentially that whole not talking until he told you he wanted to apologise, and that maybe being why, or when the ultimatum note just made me
the
so
ultimatum is
uncomfortable.
a big red flag. The other thing that made me the biggest red flag out of all of this is I berated him so badly he just stood there speechless. That is so sad. And there's 2 ways in which that could have worked. There have been times where we've argued and I've been so passionate about what I'm talking about, you've just stood there because your response is to just like shut down. That is a very Jamie response. Whereas for me, I'm like, no, I need to tell you why I'm feeling the way that I'm feeling. But for you, like, I need to process.
And then I hear it and I'm like, okay. And you're like, don't just say okay.
And like in that silence, I can hear my blood boiling.
I can hear your blood boiling.
I need you to say something.
I hear it sizzling and evaporating.
But that doesn't sound like what's happening here. It sounds like you've broken this poor person's character by berating them so hard and calling him ungrateful. Like it's rude because it's clearly not what has happened. And I'm still so shook.
I can feel your anger over this one.
But it's the fact that like you think it's just an appropriate thing. Like he's not told you, and you just think it's totally fine to be like, I'm going to get you this watch on a whim, and this is how you are going to tell your parents
that you are
doing things that are totally against everything they've grown you up for.
Yeah.
It's so bizarre to me.
Yeah, there's not even one single mention in here of, I'm upset he's keeping me a secret, but I can appreciate that this could have big repercussions for him within his family network. Like, that's literally, this story should have ended with, I'm not very comfortable with this, so I don't know if I can continue dating him, but I respect the fact that he needs to tell his family this type of information when he's ready.
Yes.
What if they would kick him out? He's only 19. What's he going to do?
Even if he doesn't kick him out, if he just doesn't want to go against his parents in that way, he has his own right to set his and enforce and maintain his own boundaries with his family without you getting in the way. And if you don't like that, you don't have to sit there and deal with it. But you can't force someone else to do something. That's the difference with the ultimatum. You can walk away.
You have a right to not be comfortable with dating someone who isn't open with their family about dating, but that means you need to walk away. You cannot change what he does.
Yes.
This is like one of the strongest You Are the Dramas I can remember giving for a while.
Ooh.
This has really like irked me because I'm like, this would be, in our situation, this would be me being OP.
Yes.
And could you imagine if I did that to you?
I'd rather not, to be honest.
Seriously. Like, and that's how the conversation went. It wasn't an understanding of like, no, I get it, this must be a really big deal for you. I am sad you didn't tell them, and I'm sad that you lied to me, but I understand how tricky this must be.
It's that, could you imagine if you'd done this and then berated me? That's
because my head
I can't even talk.
Because my head does just go, imagine shouting at somebody for not having the words to come out.
Tricky position.
Yeah.
It's so rude.
Yeah.
It's unbelievably rude. I get that you're young. You have so much to learn. Young Anakin. So much to learn. Wow.
Don't turn into Darth Vader.
Yeah, you are the biggest arsehole, not even drama, arsehole, for cussing him out.
Yeah.
And you're not the drama or not for staying with him or not. You are if you are...
continuing to pressure him.
Yes, yeah, but that's a decision for you to make. No one else can answer if you should be staying with him. Should we see some comments?
Yes, let's see some comments.
No drama here.
Oh, you are just the secret fling, the forbidden fruit he is sampling. That makes it more interesting, but it does not sound like a serious relationship, just some college fun. I have no idea how this commenter has made this assumption.
It must be on 8.
This sounds like they have like a fantasy in their head.
It does sound kind of dodge. It may also be just them drawing from their experiences, and maybe at the age of 18, 19, that's what they were doing, just like having fun and not seeing serious relationships. At the same time, we were 17, and the biggest thing that really irked me is when people would say, this isn't going to last, this isn't worth it, look at what you're giving over, you're 17, you're going to have so many boyfriends, girlfriends, whatever, blah blah blah. The thing that bugs me about it is the expectation that it would go well or would not go well. How the frick is anyone supposed to know? We don't have a crystal ball. If you're going into a relationship, you have no idea how long that relationship's going to last or if it's the right one for you. So why are we expected to judge like this infinite relationship status from day one?
I actually know just as many couples who got together as teenagers and are still together at least 5 years later, if not decades later, than I do people who met in like their late 20s and 30s. The relationships I've seen and had experience of, and my own one, it doesn't matter what age people get together. People getting together young can break up. People getting together at 30 can break up after a couple years.
And that's the thing, right? There shouldn't be a stigma over breaking up.
No.
People are like, oh, somehow you were supposed to have known however many days, months, years beforehand that this was going to happen and therefore it's not worth it. That's just not how life works.
Yeah.
So yeah, this comment really bugs me for that reason.
This is where it's really ignorant to just make an assumption that it's a deliberate secret fling. So they're saying he's not allowed to have a relationship unless he tells his family, because then it's just sampling forbidden fruit. No, I'm sorry. That commenter has a fantasy that they are playing out in their head. He can't or won't stand up to his parents for you, and you know it. You were pushing him for the confrontation with a watch.
Totally agree with this. You should have had a conversation, and you definitely took this as an opportunity to be like, oh, well, if I get it for you, you're going to have to say something. That makes me feel like you didn't want to give him the watch. You just wanted to create an opportunity to be known, which sucks. You were saying like, oh, I want to do this for him because it's a big thing. If that's the case, you should be grateful that he's wearing the watch regardless of where he tells other people he got it from. Your joy should just be coming from the fact that he's wearing this thing that you wanted to give him.
Yes.
I don't buy it. I don't buy it, OP. You're a big red flag. I'm going to smother you in ketchup and stick you on a pole.
This commenter continued, do you think he will tell his dad? No. I chose her. I don't care what you want. As you described it, that won't happen. And then OP's actually replied going, thanks for the wake-up call. I appreciate it. And I feel like OP is just being so far validated.
But that's not a validating comment to me.
But it's a mix. I feel like he can't or won't stand up to his parents for you, and you know it. Do you think he would tell his dad? No.
Yeah, but it's also saying you were pushing him for the confrontation with the watch. Like, you knew. You did it under false pretenses.
But the way I read that is the commenter is going, OP, you've tested. You tried to get him to tell, and he wouldn't do that for you. You know this isn't going to happen. Leave.
And that's fine.
Yeah.
There doesn't need to be any moral right or wrong attached to that.
It's not okay to have pushed for the confrontation.
No, it's okay if he can't or won't stand up to you. It's okay to ask that and be like, hey, would you? I don't feel comfortable being in a relationship where I'm being kept to some secret. It's okay to ask that. But if they don't feel comfortable with it, you don't push.
Yeah, I still think that what OP would have taken from this comment...
which they clearly have.
Is that, he's the one in the wrong here. I need to go save myself.
I see how you are seeing that, and I think it's very wrong. And I also don't think that's what the top half of this comment was trying to say.
Okay, that's where
we're
open to interpretation.
But the point is, don't push people out of closets. Let them come out in their own time. If you really want connection, love and support, it's allowing people to do what they need to do, not making decisions for them.
And also understanding that this is when age does play a role. If you were like 30 and you'd met and he was living independently and he'd clearly had relationships before and he was refusing to tell his family, then I would question it a bit more. I still wouldn't like push it or force him. It would just be a conversation of, well, specifically why. But when you are 18, 19, most likely still living at home.
It may be one of the first relationships you have.
Yes.
You're also going to be very invested because if this is one of your first physical experiences as well, that's going to feel more loaded.
Yeah.
In many ways. It's tricky, but you are absolutely the drama. I'm sorry. There is no two ways about it. I feel so strong. Judge Shaaba, bunk. Bonk. She bunked. All right, my love, are you ready to do one more?
I am.
Drama. This little submission of mine is from a peach, a gorgeous little peach.
Hello.
Noah, thank you. Let's see if we can help you out today, Noah.
Am I the drama for refusing to speak to my mother?
Oh.
I mean, I already want to say no because you can speak to whoever you want to speak to, but let's read why.
Hi. Hello, my love. I, a 22-year-old MB, went no contact with my mum, 59, about a year ago. The mum's 59 years old, just to make that really clear. The reasons are that she doesn't accept me being queer, but also that she was mostly emotionally abusive during my childhood. This is heavy. I moved into a group home when I was 16 because of it. Wow. Okay, so like really, really very short.
Yeah.
I've been in therapy for 6 years now, and I'm dealing with PTSD, depression, and a dissociative disorder.
Okay.
Sounds you got a lot on your plate, my love.
Yeah.
I've had lots of attempts to reconnect with my mother in therapy, but they were futile. My mother made clear that she doesn't really care about me. She has a lot of narcissistic tendencies, says OP.
Yep.
My grandma, who is 79, so that's my mum's mum, so she had her kid when she was 20.
Yes.
Is pressuring me to speak to her again and wants us to attend therapy together and reconcile because she's apparently changed. My mum is very triggering to me, even now that she's not in my life, so I don't want to for my own health, but I also feel really bad because my grandma often starts crying and asks me whether I will reconcile with my mum before she dies. Ugh. So am I the drama for refusing to speak to my mother?
This is an easier badge than the one before.
For sure. Not the drama, babe.
Mm-mm.
Totally not the drama. I think your grandma maybe is a little bit the drama. And your mum's definitely the drama.
Yeah, there is no requirement on you to speak to somebody who brings this much negativity into your life, who brings any negativity into your life, who's caused this damage for your life and everything that's going on with you. No, and I'm really sorry that you're being pressured from your grandma to speak to your mum, because you shouldn't feel that.
I do think, though, sometimes it's really easy for us to say that, just generally, and also because, like, but on principle, of course, on paper that sounds right, but then not speaking to your mum also sounds really hard. In practice...
I'm speaking about what you should feel pressured to do, not what's actually easy or difficult.
Of you, or what you, in other ways as well, should do, because you might feel like you should keep your gran happy. Even though you don't owe anyone anything, if your gran's the one that's helped you through life, if you have a really deep connection with her in many other ways, maybe that's a should, quote unquote, that you're feeling. I'm doing that as bunnies because I don't want to put words in your mouth, Noah. My point is, like, should could be different things for different people.
I think also, I'll let Shaaba speak, like, your experience, but my experience is if somebody treats me like poop and does not show that respect and has hurt me and has no ability to recognize that hurt that's caused, it's really hard to do it, but I will cut people out, and I have cut people out of my life who do not treat me in the way that you are supposed to treat someone you love, and I can see that being a pattern of behavior that they're going to do, and it's not going to change. I am sorry, but like, I don't think people like this actually change. I think they can mask, I think they can pretend for a short time, but it always comes back round to the same behavior they displayed before.
Do you not feel like people can grow?
I think people can grow, but I think it takes a lot, and I would need a big bundle of evidence that that growth has occurred before I'm going to let them back in my life in any meaningful way.
Which is really tricky as well, right? Because if that evidence can only be gained through time, I see the loophole. I totally agree and appreciate with what you are saying. At the same time, the other half of me is saying, if somebody really has changed and they're wanting to be in your life, and they can do it in a way where they can be so respectful and apologetic for everything they put you through when you were younger, and genuinely try to gain back your trust on your terms, on a relationship and on a journey that works for you, that could be a wonderful thing. At the same time, it's really tricky because you could either say no and be right in saying no because they haven't really changed, say no and be wrong in saying no because there's an opportunity that could have happened there that you are neglecting. But in that situation, just because someone else is better, you don't owe them back in your life. You don't need to make that happen.
Yeah, and even if somebody has grown and does not display that same level of negative behaviour, they still hurt you. You are still allowed to not move on from that.
Or you can move on, even. You can forgive them and still not want them in your life.
Fair.
That is still something that you can do.
Yeah, because sometimes what people have done in the past, regardless of where they have grown to in the present, that does not get rid of what they did before. That does not take away the hurt they caused, and it doesn't mean that you want to have a relationship with them just because they are slightly different now.
Yeah, you're not obligated to doing that.
Yeah.
Similarly, you could say yes and she could still be a shit. Or you could say yes and she has genuinely grown, and that could be a wonderful thing. There are 4 routes in front of you, and what's annoying is that you're not in control with them, in the sense of, like, you don't know what the outcome's going to be, but you still get to determine which one you want to go down autonomously.
Yeah, it's completely your choice.
And I see this with so many people. They use their deathbed. How freaking morbid is that? To be like, it's all I've ever wanted. When I'm gone, I want to know that you guys are blah, blah, blah.
It's just emotional blackmail.
It really is. And it might be coming from a good place, but stay in your lane, grandma. Stay in your lane.
I think this is also like a pattern that we've seen in real life, a pattern that we've read in stories before, heard from other people. This is always what happens. Somebody hurt you, somebody has these behaviour tendencies, somebody's caused you so much pain in your life, so you've cut them out for your own good, and then there's someone else going, they've changed, you should give them another chance. And I do personally think more often than not they haven't changed.
Yeah,
they're just pretending.
Yeah, statistically they haven't, or they believe they have, but as you said, they slip back into, or like change is not permanent.
Yeah.
Especially if they're not working on themselves.
Yes.
Long
Ongoing.
term. Yeah,
or the
ongoing.
person telling you that they've changed wants to believe so badly that they've changed, they can only see the small positives that are happening, and they don't recognise that actually they haven't changed at all.
I also feel like people's tolerances for this stuff is different too.
Yes.
You might
Yeah.
be more willing to allow shit and toxicity in your life than me.
Yeah.
And that's okay. It proves difficult if we are then, you know, still interacting with each other like Grandma and OP seem to be here. But neither of you are wrong.
Yeah.
You just need to be able to accommodate the people that you do want to keep in your life.
Yeah.
God, this is such a heavy discussion. I'm so sorry, Noah, that you're dealing with this.
Yeah, I'm sorry. But take power in the ultimate decision of what you do going forward is yours and yours alone. And you are not the drama at all, regardless of what choice you make going forward.
Absolutely agree with that. My final takeaway for you, which often helps me in these situations, is that nothing that you can do can be wrong because there is no right option to take. My head goes very logical about this. So like, I think I kind of explained it. There are only 4 options for you to take here. You either don't or you do. And if you don't, it can go well or not. And if you do, it could go well or not. That's it. Those are like exhaustively the only potential things that could happen. And any of those options that it ends up being is an experience for you that you should not hold any blame or like credit for. It's just a life experience. Say you do go to see your mum and it goes wrong. It's not your fault. There's nothing to blame. It's like, I hope you wouldn't feel like at that point like, oh, I wish I didn't, because you have no control over that outcome. It's just like, okay, well, this happened and goodbye. You know,
Yeah.
that's it. So I hope you're not feeling too much pressure about making the right decision, because there is no right decision. It's just a decision that you want to do, which I find quite freeing.
All the best.
Hope that helped, my love. Oh, Peaches, if you would like to give Noah some advice of your own, please feel free to do so, either downstairs if you're watching on YouTube or over at 1-800-DRAMA-POD on Insta.
And if you are listening to this on a podcast platform such as Spotify or Apple Podcasts, please do think about giving us a little rating, because it really does help, and you can rate individual episodes as
Absolutely
well.
can.
We really do appreciate it. Thank you.
We're so grateful for all the ratings, and we do read every single comment on Apple Pod as well. Thanks again for listening, my loves. We'll catch you next time with another episode. Be kind
Much love.
and have a great day.
Bye.